Biggest struggle is unpredictability around strangers and difficulties with any medical routines.
Difficulty around strangers, I accept as just a thing.
I have difficulty around strangers.
Yeah, here's the thing that when we're talking about strangers, because it comes up a lot, meeting people, when we're talking about strangers, you have to understand that it takes two to tango. And what I mean by that is, some of the strangers are going to be throwing their own chemical signature of how they feel about your dog. And when our dogs are a little bit more shy, if you're not someone that's, can really read body language and whatnot, you'll pick up that something's off with the dog, and then you start to get nervous, and then the dog gets even more nervous. So having unpredictability around strangers, the unpredictable part has to probably do with the strangers. It's not necessarily the dog, right? A different person is going to bring different energy. A person having a bad day is going to bring different energy. A person with a health issue is going to bring different energy. I don't know if anybody had a chance to listen to the Nelson episode, but we did talk about this idea that dogs can smell your thoughts and your feelings. So from the moment you let out that first breath, they are getting the chemical answer of what it is that's going on in your mind. So you can't fake it. That's the big thing. And so unpredictability around strangers actually is predictable. Yes, today on the podcast, we have a special guest, and we are answering the questions you never even knew you asked. So much fun today on the podcast. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. Did you know that we have a free Facebook group that you can join, meet like-minded dog lovers just like you, hang out, share your pictures, do some challenges, have some fun? Well, it's true. Go over to facebook.com today and join the Living Beyond Obedience Facebook group. Be sure to answer the questions when you get in, and we'll tell you why in a minute. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friends. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Super duper welcome if you are brand new. And if someone sent you this podcast, give them a little hug from me. Just a little hug. Just say, Tracy says thanks. If you're brand new, this is Beyond Obedience. We talk about all things beyond obedience. This is a very special episode because today in the studio, we have my bestest buddy, my business partner, the apple of my eye.
Wow. Just gotta see where you're going with that, but really delivered.
And her name is Paisley.
Hello.
Paisley's in the house. Now, I wanted to get Paisley on the mic again because we haven't done a Q&A in a while. And why is that, Paisley? Because Paisley hasn't been here. That's why. Paisley hasn't been home. She has not been home. She's she's got another job, blah, blah, blah. But she also has been doing house sitting this season, which...
Picked that up accidentally.
It
was not intentional.
Now she's got, waiting lists of people that are like, hey, Paisley, can you come and house sit for me?
I feel like I'm just a paid squatter, really. It's great.
It's true. And so Paisley was actually away for 4 weeks house sitting. And
Indeed.
She had the unique opportunity of house sitting. The first time it was just cats, right?
Yeah, well, it was cats and a lot of birds.
Oh, right. Cats and birds.
Yeah. That was something.
And then this last time she actually got to live with a dog as well. And his
Two cats and a dog.
And Yeah, cats. But also the dog.
Cats are great.
But also the dog. Yeah, but do you ever notice that there's no podcast for beyond obedience for cats?
Because cats don't do obedience.
Exactly.
There's nothing beyond or before. Or within, really.
Cats do what they want. So we don't have to worry about them. But, so this time he had a little buddy, and his name was Snuffs?
Snuffs.
Snuffs!
We love Snuffs.
Shout out to Snuffs.
Yes.
And I just, like, Paisley, how was that? How was that experience? Because it wasn't just a weekend. Like, you got
no,
to
it
actually...
was 4 weeks of
to
Snuffs.
settle in, and you had an opportunity to sort of bond with this dog.
To paint the scene a bit, I think he is a Pomeranian Chihuahua. I think, if I remember correctly. Really small, really fluffy.
Small and fluffy.
Small and fluffy.
It's the best kind of Snuffs.
And he is 12 years old, so he's an older fellow.
Oh.
With a lot of spunk. You would not guess based on personality that he is 12. Like, this thing flies. I'm pretty sure he could jump my height.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd love to do that at the door before we were going for walks. He would just, like, get right up in my face. Just like, airtime.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, he was delightful. We love Snuffs.
And he was okay, like, with this person he's, like, never met before, just, like, squatting in his house?
Yeah, well, I actually did meet him about a week before I did the house sitting gig. His owners asked me to come visit just so I could get to know the cats, because they wanted to make sure that they did like me. And the dog.
But mostly the cats, because the cats won't let you in the house if they don't like you.
Well, Snuffs is really friendly, so it really wasn't a problem on Snuffs' ends. Like, we just, like, sat on the floor and talked for, like, an hour, and he just, like, sat, like, in my lap. So really, that's how I got the gig, accidentally. Like, you're perfect. You can stay here forever if you want.
Snuffs approved.
Snuffs did approve. And really, he was fine. So when I first went there, obviously a little anxious because he didn't know what was happening. His owners left in the morning. And the reason I picked up the gig is because I do have work in Halifax. I work as a tour guide, so it's a pretty drastic commute for me to go from where we're at in the countryside to the edge of Nova Scotia.
Not in Halifax.
Not in Halifax. So I was like, no, I'd be happy to pick up this gig, 'cause that way it's like a shorter commute for me. I have no problem just like staying and taking care of the dog when I'm not working. So his owners actually left in the morning, and I showed up at the end of the day there. And he does have walkers that came at the middle of the day, make sure he got out for some time there. But from his perspective, his owners just left. And then I showed up at night like, hey, dude, this is what's happening now. New owner in the house.
Yeah, so, I mean, and this is why I kind of wanted to talk to you about it, because it's one thing to have, like, dog walkers and whatnot come in and let a dog out, but it's another thing entirely to have someone come into the den, so to speak, and occupy, like, what were, because you had to sleep in the bed because he sleeps in the bed with...
He does sleep with his owners, yeah.
Yeah, so she literally had to take the role of owner, and I'm fascinated to know, like, sort of how did that go with him? He was pretty laid back, so he was okay, but, like
he was very relaxed at night, actually.
Could you now go to their house, just steal him, and he'd be like, this is my other owner?
Actually, what's great is that every time I took him for a walk and I was dropping off something in my car, he would actually get in my car. So I could, in theory, just take this dog. I could probably open the door, open my car door, and be like, he's mine now, and then take off, okay. I think. Exactly.
So I have to ask, though, because you said you think that there's Chihuahua in there.
I believe she mentioned there's some Chihuahua, and personality-wise.
Yeah, yes. And what are we talking about the Chihuahua? Are we talking about a little bit of yippee?
A lot of yippee. Some spice.
Spicy yippee yaps.
Some spicy yippee yaps.
I'm all, because
very yippee yappy.
Every time we have a barking episode, somebody inevitably will be like, well, that's fine, but I have a Chihuahua. And I'm like, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think that was actually the most notable difference over time, is that when I first started with him, he never really seemed uncomfortable with me personally, but you could tell that he was uncomfortable more with his environment. And it goes to show just how much dogs feel comfortable with their owners and how that gets them adjusted to where they are. Because he seemed fine with me, but what I did have is any single time somebody walked by the house, a car went by the house, there's also a lot of construction in the area, so if there was a particularly loud construction bang, he would run across the house, he was at the door, he was barking, and sometimes he wouldn't stop for like an hour. Oh, and wow. He would just like keep on going, and it seemed like no matter what I did, he's like, nope, there's something out there, I gotta like have my attention on it, I have to stand guard, and the vehicle or whatever caused him to bark would be long gone, and he'd still be like standing guard there, yapping at the door, and I was like, this is gonna be a long 4 weeks. Like that. But I found that by the end of the 4 weeks, that was no longer an issue. And again, as we know here, I didn't do any training with this dog. I'm also not at all a dog trainer. Like, I listen to Mom's stuff, but
she's dog trainer adjacent.
Yeah, like I've been there. I've done, I guess, the photography for dog events. I like sit in the dark corners with a video camera. Like, here's Tracy shining away.
Okay, let's give you a little bit more credit than that, because you have to remember too, though, and maybe you don't even remember it, but it was part of your childhood. You actually used to run daycare groups.
That's true. I have spent a
as
lot
a
of time
young
with dogs.
child.
Yeah,
like literally in groups of 15 to 20 dogs, and she was able to command respect in just her presence. So let's not cut yourself too short.
Okay.
But okay, go on.
So I'm not formally educated in any way.
Right. I have to ask though, because you do know the Fearless framework and you know all the stuff.
Yeah.
Did you by chance take any of your mother's advice about that barking at the door?
I did do the I would do the go to his side and acknowledge what was outside and be like, I too understand that there's something out there.
Yes.
And we are both acknowledging it.
Yes.
And then I would leave and be like, it's cool.
Okay, cool.
Like, we've done that.
I'm just wondering if you actually, because I mean, it's one thing to sit beside me and hear me say it, but we don't necessarily have a lot of opportunity to practice those things with our own dogs.
Well, especially because we live on such like an isolated property, like we don't really have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they are barking at something, it might be a delivery driver.
Might be a squirrel.
But also it could be all the wildlife that's out there. So, and that is true. Like, they're there. So you started off like that. And you went and you checked, and he would bark for up to an hour in some cases.
Yeah.
How was it by the time you left?
By the time I left, I could... Actually, we were on a call one time when it happened. By the time I was leaving, or even just in that last week, I could stand up, go to the door, be like, it's okay, and he would follow me back to the couch. So he would still alert, which is what we love. He would still alert me that there was someone going by the house. Especially because he's not wrong, and that's the best part. There are some ding-dong dogs in this neighborhood that are, like, at the end of their leash, like, barking and, like, lunging at other dogs from across the street and stuff like that. Like, he is totally valid to be like, there's a crazy dog out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, like, go up, acknowledge that. Sometimes I wouldn't even have to. If I could see that it was a car going by, I could just look over the couch and be like, Snuff, we're good. And he'd come back.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
In 4 weeks.
In just 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks. See, this is the stuff that I love. And the reason why I wanted you to share, your experience is because I do remember you at the very beginning when I was like, how are things going? You were like, he's a barker.
I will say, because I do live with you, I'm a lot more used to bigger dogs. And I'm okay with, like, a woof. I will say high-pitched barking can be a little ear-grating to me.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Like, I'm used to the new woof.
Yeah. And I call the noises that Nigel makes Chewbacca noises. Like, they're kind of talking, sort of, like, it's weird. But Nike's bark it pierces my brain.
It also, like, stops your heart for a moment.
Oh,
like,
it does.
It's so loud. It's so loud and
dog
sharp.
Barking is something. It's absolutely something.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing, though, that, as I say, I wanted to just kind of point that out, that, these kind of changes with consistency and whatnot can happen. And in fairness to Snuffs, right, like, he had someone new, and this is sort of a testament. I love that you said what you said about the fact that he was still in his environment. Yeah. So he was technically still in his comfort zone, but there was an interloper in his comfort zone. And whether or not Snuffs is, and he obviously is, a very, very social, friendly guy, and he likes people, doesn't change the fact that the removal of his people and the insertion of an interloper, as much as he is people-friendly, is still going to build some anxiety in his safety routines and the things that he is safe, that make him feel safe. And so you being the person to be like, I'm going to follow through with all of this. I'm going to go check the thing you're looking at. And I'm going to say, yeah, I see it too. We're going to have that acknowledgement that I get it. Then, plus on top of that, you also took him for walks.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood.
And I was very attentive on walks in particular, because that is when we in person came across the other dogs vehicles, especially the construction vehicles, because they're pretty close to the road. And I would always do the, like, pass him from behind and, like, have him be, like, put me in between him and the possible quote-unquote threats.
Yeah.
And I would always look at the threats and be like, yep, that's there. And then I'd keep on going. I also really made sure to walk with a confident posture that said that we're good and we're going forward.
Yeah.
And he picked up on that really quickly. And I found that it was particularly after we started meeting people on walks that he got a lot more comfortable with me as a person.
Yeah.
When I, like, put myself in between him and oncoming people, sometimes I'd move us out of their paths entirely. Just because, again, there's a lot of ding-dong dogs in that neighborhood, and I'm like, we're just not going to be involved with that. We're going this way.
Yeah.
So I found after that in particular, he was a lot more trusting of my opinion on the cars going by the house.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I love that. So it kind of makes me proud. So it's kind of a proud sort of moment. Because sometimes Paisley, admittingly, is our cat person, and
I am the residential cat person.
She is the residential cat person. I will say that I was in charge of Paisley's cats while she wasn't here, and I can't say I had an equally impressive story.
Well, I mean, Peanut's
I did
thicker.
the best I can. I did the best I can. Peanut is thicker. You know why? Because I just bribe cats with food. I'm like, you need to come back in the room and have some more food. You know, I don't know cats. I don't get them. Cats are yours, and I'm just like, well, you are the one that left. So
this is on you, friend.
This is on you. That's all I know. All right. First of all, Paisley, what are you drinking? We're having our meetup. You're having coffee?
I have coffee.
I have dandelion tea.
So dirt
tea.
In a mug.
I have I have dirt tea in a mug.
Bro has weed and dirt in a mug.
I'm really excited about drinking my dirt tea. Okay, so today...
Mine has cinnamon in it, though.
Oh, that's fancy.
I know. I leveled it up.
Fancy
I leveled
things.
it up.
All right, today on the podcast with Paisley here, I will also mention, too, Paisley's planning on leaving again.
Only for 3 weeks this time, though.
Only for 3 weeks this time. But then she'll come back and say, my cats are even fatter. And I'm going to be like, it is what it is, friend. It is what it is. That's how I deal with cats. Just here's more food. Be quiet. Leave me alone. All right. So today on the podcast, we've done this before. We're doing it again. I like this segment. This is called Questions You Didn't Even Know You Asked.
Yeah.
Questions you didn't even know you asked. So if you didn't know, we have a Facebook community called Living Beyond Obedience. Today we're doing some of the questions. If you didn't know this, if you're in the group, you know this. But if you didn't know this, when you try to join Living Beyond Obedience, although it is free, we do ask you 3 questions. I think it's 3. And there's a reason why we ask you the questions. It's one, because we really want to know the answers to them. These aren't just like, hey, what you have for breakfast this morning question. These are, what's the thing that you love most about your dogs? And more importantly, what's the thing you struggle with the most with your dogs? And I wanted people to understand that it's not like we just ask that question and go, thanks for answering, and we let you in. It's not just a bot check. It is actually because we take that information, and it's how Paisley and I gear our content. It's how we come up with programs and that sort of thing, because our goal here is to really help as many people as we can. And so I thought, once again, we would do questions you didn't know you asked, because why not? We're going to pull from those answers. Now, to keep it somewhat semi-private, we're not going to say first and last names.
We have first names.
We have first names. We're going to say first names. We're not going to say last names, just in case you're like, I didn't want anyone to know that. But,
Yeah, I was like worried you're going to ask me like make up names on the spot. I'm like, if I'm reading a name, I'm going to say the name.
No, we're not going to do that. But we're just going to pick a couple of them, and I don't even know. Some of them might not be questions, but we might just kind of talk a little bit about them.
All right.
That's what we're doing today. So fun. Let's cheer that. All right.
Yeah, I was like, say you have the headset. I can't
I don't
hear
even have the
anything.
headset on, so we don't know what's going on. All right, let's do. This is from the Living Beyond Obedience questions.
Entry questions.
When you enter. And I will say this. Let me just also, before we get into it, I will say this. Please note that if you choose not to answer the questions, Paisley won't let you in.
Whoa. They didn't need to know it was me. Okay. No!
Paisley's not going to let you in. No.
I wrote a very respectful message.
There again, the reason why we do that is one of the things that we do absolutely ask you to do is to review and agree to the rules of the group. I am very particular about that. I find that Facebook and social media in general can end up being a very, very nasty place, especially in dog communities, and we do not tolerate that. This is a place where, people can ask questions and all that stuff, and we do not accept any sort of shenanigans, any sort of shaming, any sort of anything. But also, we want to know, again, we're asking the question just because this is something that we would like to know. This is what makes the community better. It makes our programs better, and in general.
And it keeps us in check with the audience.
It does really keep us in check with that. Like, I also want you to know we read every single one.
Yeah.
We're not just like, good, they answered the questions, and then, no, we read every single one. So it really does help to keep us connected with you, and it's important to us. So answer the questions.
Said with tone, slightly threatening. Don't make me send the declined message to you.
It's a free group. The least you could do is answer the questions. All right, go ahead, Paisley. Pick a question, any question.
All right. Can I go in order?
You can do whatever you want.
Gotcha. Okay, Alex. We have a 4-year-old rescue named Athena. She has become the cornerstone of our lives.
I had a dog named Athena. This is how we get off track. I had a dog named Athena. She was a Doberman. We called her Stevie. Go on.
Okay. Stevie?
Yeah.
It's not even close.
I know.
Biggest struggle is unpredictability around strangers and difficulties with any medical routines.
Difficulty around strangers, I accept as just a thing.
I have difficulty around strangers.
Yeah, here's the thing that when we're talking about strangers, because it comes up a lot, meeting people, when we're talking about strangers, you have to understand that it takes two to tango. And what I mean by that is, some of the strangers are going to be throwing their own chemical signature of how they feel about your dog. And when our dogs are a little bit more shy, if you're not someone that's, can really read body language and whatnot, you'll pick up that something's off with the dog, and then you start to get nervous, and then the dog gets even more nervous. So having unpredictability around strangers, the unpredictable part has to probably do with the strangers. It's not necessarily the dog, right? A different person is going to bring different energy. A person having a bad day is going to bring different energy. A person with a health issue is going to bring different energy. I don't know if anybody had a chance to listen to the Nelson episode, but we did talk about this idea that dogs can smell your thoughts and your feelings. So from the moment you let out that first breath, they are getting the chemical answer of what it is that's going on in your mind. So you can't fake it. That's the big thing. And so unpredictability around strangers actually is predictable, if that makes sense, right?
This is what we expect of strangers.
So depending on how long you've had her for, the goal should be about building that predictability in you, and therefore you'll be able to better influence her behavior around strangers. But understand that if any of my dogs give me a signal that they're uncomfortable around somebody, I listen to that. I don't ignore that. Like, if my dogs are like, I don't really like that guy, I'm like, I don't think I like that guy now either, and we'll leave. Like, that's how that works. And then the difficulties around any medical routines, obviously that's one of the hardest things to do. That's why vets and vet techs have the hardest job in the world, because we're asking dogs to endure things that can be, in most cases, painful. Right? Mm-hmm. If we're talking about treating ear infections are incredibly painful. If we're talking about like any other sort of treatment that we're asking them to endure pain. So again, depending on how long you've had the dog for, there are times in our lives for medical stuff where we have to just be able to say, I'm really sorry, this is going to suck, but we're just going to have to do it. It's for your own good. But that doesn't mean that we can't acknowledge that the dog acted poorly in that way, say that that's fine, and then work towards finding ways to build that trust around it. So whether or not that means handling and whatnot outside of the, medical treatment, event is how I would deal with that. Not that you asked, Alex, but there you go. Also, do you have a nickname for Athena? and is it Stevie?
It's probably not Stevie. I don't know how you got there with that name. I think Athena's goddess of wisdom, isn't it? Isn't she? Wisdom?
Wisdom? Chaos? I don't know.
I don't think it's chaos.
The goddess of something.
I don't think it's chaos.
Google it.
I think, Loki's mischief. I think Athena's wisdom.
Maybe.
And like war tactics. We watched the
goddess of war, maybe.
No,
yeah.
Maybe. Because there's also Artemis. Because I think Artemis might be war.
Okay, we're getting off
Redirecting back to the main road.
What's next?
Anyways. Cassie, biggest struggle. Introducing another dog after my eldest passed. It has not been easy. I would like a peaceful pack.
Oh, Cassie. You know what? That one's really challenging, and it really does depend on the, what position the eldest dog held within the pack. If it was like a higher ranking dog or one that brought sort of calmness and peace and whatnot, and that energy is gone, and now it's trying to be filled with other stuff, that makes it really challenging. And I'm really sorry about losing your eldest dog. I will say a lot of the problems too with introducing other dogs has to come with the grief and shame around it. We get another dog, there's a part of us that's like, this isn't replacing my other dog, but also I kind of need to replace my other dog, but then you feel bad about it. So there's a lot of energy around that, and basically give yourself grace and time, and accept that this is a challenging time. Dogs do grieve, and some of them grieve differently than others, so it really does depend on where that is. And just know that, again, introducing other dogs, if we're talking about introducing other dogs into your pack, then that is a slow sort of burn that we do to sort of get that in. And if you need help with that, that's something that we do talk about in the Fearless framework and all of that sort of stuff. So multi-dog stuff and introduction of dogs is something that is covered in that. Okay.
All right. Jill, I have different issues with both my dogs. My first dog is very reactive to both humans and dogs. We are working on it and have made some progress in the past year. My second dog is fine in the public, but has an extremely difficult time settling anywhere. He has no confidence with his body and balancing.
Oh, that's interesting. No confidence in his body and balancing. Well, here's what I would say, Jill. Again, not knowing your dogs very well, but the first dog being reactive to humans and dogs, like you're gonna have to work on that. And there are different ways to do it, but again, I always like people there's lots of things that you can quote unquote do to help dogs with reactivity. There's lots of techniques, there's lots of drills, there's lots of keep them under threshold and utilize food to change their emotional status about the trigger and all that stuff. But I always want to sort of ground everybody in this knowledge that the number one step is to make sure that he is confident in you. So, and the other thing too is your dog doesn't have to like every dog they meet or person, right? So we have to set a bar up that is probably less than what we're doing for dogs, right? I always say to my pack, they don't have to love every dog that they meet, but they can't be jerks about it. You also don't have to like every person you meet, but you can't be a jerk about it. But I'm also not somebody that, if my dog doesn't like people, I don't make them go see, I don't make them endure stupid human behavior. I'm like, don't. So that really depends. Your other dog, though, I'm kind of fascinated by it. I would say my first question would be like, can you get him to settle with just you and no other stimulus, right? Again, with both of the dogs, everything comes back to you. Are you able to get your dog to settle around you? And if we can't get the dog to settle around you, that would be where I would start. I wouldn't worry about like doing him in any other place or moving him or having him in public or any of that other stuff. So there you go.
Because, I mean, immediately right off a bat, dog's going to be more comfortable if they have someone they're confident with.
Right.
So if you have a confident relationship with your dog, they'll have a lot less trouble going out into situations they're not as comfortable in.
100%.
But if you're in an uncomfortable situation and they're not comfortable with you, that really gives them nothing to lean on.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because there's people that go through the Fearless framework, and because there's not a lot in the program, sounds like I'm saying that's not worth it, but there's actually not a lot because it's 3 steps. So people will be like, oh, it's only 3 steps. And people will go through the entirety of the program, meaning they've watched all the videos and they've done all the stuff. And then they'll be like, well, I've done it all. No, you haven't. I can tell you that right now. No, you haven't, because I am still in the program. I am at different phases of that program with every single one of my dogs. I guarantee you that there will be a moment where something happens with one of my dogs and I have to go back to step 1, right? It's not like I've accomplished step 1 and now I'm moving on to step 2. And if you don't know, I'll say it. The 3 steps are, first step is the dog has to trust you. And the second step is the dog then learns to trust the situations that you put them in. And then step 3 is the dog learns to trust themselves. And I will tell you that step 1 and step 2 is where you are going to hang out for the majority of your time with any dog, right? You are going to come across a situation where the dog tells you, shows you, oh shoot, I don't trust you in this situation. Think of all the variables that are out there. So there's so many and so I don't feel bad about it. It's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for years and I'm still on step 2. Yes. That's the whole point.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. And the idea of the program isn't about getting through the steps. The idea of the program is getting you to be aware and observant, to understand the dog's mind, to understand your influence or lack of influence in your dog's life. The reason why dogs are more reactive on leash is because they are strapped to a human. Part of that is because they can't flee. But the other part of it is they don't trust that the human that is attached to them has what it takes to handle the situation. And they feel like they have to up the ante. So anytime my dogs are reactive on leash, I'm like, they don't trust me right now. Like if I ask my dog to go behind me and they're like, oh no, that's not going to work, I know that my dogs don't trust me. And that's a how interesting moment. And I have to go, ooh, what can I do to fix that? So it's a constant flow of being between step 1 and step 2. If you just rescued a dog, you are on step 1.
You might be at 1 for a little while.
You're on step 1. There's no, and that's why one of the biggest mistakes that people get when they rescue dogs is they're doing so much with them. They're like, I need to do. And it's in good intentions. They're like, I got to take my dog to training. I got to take my dog to socialize. I want to go out and meet all these people, my friends and all this stuff. You're doing too much. Your dog doesn't trust you yet to be able to trust the situations that you put them in. So we need to do step 1. And you'll be there for a while and just accept that.
Yeah.
Anyway, went off on a tangent there. Sorry.
Actually, as a quick little sidebar, so I work on the boardwalk, and one time I was heading down the boardwalk. I can't remember the breed of the dog, but they're kind of like the reddish brown with the white tipped tail. They're supposed to look like foxes. What's that breed called?
Reddish brown with a white tipped tail.
Yeah, because they're supposed to look like foxes so that they can hunt similarly to a fox or something like that. I remember because the owner tried to explain it to me, and I assume he knew what he was talking about, but I had a beautiful dog, but really young puppy, and he was out on the boardwalk of Halifax, which this is in August, so it was like peak busy season for the boardwalk. People everywhere. There's like 5 cruise ships in that day. And what he was doing is he was trying to just get this dog adjusted to literally everything. But what I can tell you is that this dog looked horribly overwhelmed, and in my head, I'm like, this dog's gonna have a lot of issues with a lot of different things growing up.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was so much happening. There's other dogs running towards him as well. There was kids that wanted to pick him up because he was small and really soft, and admittedly super adorable. But he looked so thoroughly uncomfortable. You can tell this dog didn't trust the owner, didn't trust the environment, wanted to be anywhere but with this person.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything that this dog liked in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really unfortunate to see for a puppy, because it definitely wasn't a joyous situation.
And it's sad because it's what people have been told to do.
Yeah.
Right? We've been
told.
told.
He was really confident. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm out here getting this dog socialized. He's going to be really confident with everything. I'm like, that's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're picking up two very different energies here from this dog.
And I think that is true, right? When we get into, like, we're very, direct mindset kind of a thing. Like, we have a goal and we're going to make our way to that goal. And what ends up happening is we don't see what's actually right in front of us, right? We don't take a moment to even ask the dog, like, how are you feeling about all of this? And then actually being available to listen to what the dog is actually saying. So that's unfortunate because, and maybe it will work out. Maybe there's always that case where, it's fine. The dog ends up bouncing back. And then there's other cases where the dog ends up being like, I don't like my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, moving on. Christy, I wish I could sleep comfortably. They all pile, I'm assuming her dogs, all pile on the bed, which I do love, and I want them to touch me when they sleep. So sometimes at night I have 2 inches of king bed and they have the rest. I'm not sure you'll be much help with that. I'm sorry, Christy, you're on your own. You're gonna have to go somewhere else for that answer. Tracy cannot help you there. I think you've got California King, and sometimes I can't even join you on the bed to watch TV. That's
Chrissy,
where we're at.
What's the problem exactly? I'm not really sure I know the problem.
I hate to say, Chrissy, that question might be above us.
You know what's funny is that I think every night that Mark tries to get into bed, he's always like, oh, because the dogs are all everywhere, and I'm like, look at how comfy he looks, though. Like, look at how comfy he looks. Don't move him. He looks so comfy.
No space in that bed. Best part is that we have a German Shepherd puppy who's only going to get bigger, and he likes being on the bed.
He's the most comfy on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most comfy on the bed. And I will say, you know what? Like, I'm human, and we all make mistakes. So let's just start with that. But Gunther's life started with us having to do a 2-day road trip where we may or may not have told the people at the hotel how many dogs we actually had. So we were kind of trying to hide dogs.
As you do.
As you do. And because of that, I didn't want to start off trying to do crate training at nighttime and having him barking and crying and screaming at a hotel. So he started his life in the bed. And then we got home and he was still in the bed. And it was about 4 days after we'd been home that Mark was like, is this just where he is now? And I'm like, yeah, this
is it.
Now, that being said, though, we will change things up. If he were to start giving me problems, we would change things up. The biggest thing with the bed, and the biggest thing with the bed is they have to move when you ask them to. That's the biggest thing. Mark's not great at getting them to move, mostly because he questions it. Like, he's kind of like, could you move? And then when they don't move, when he's kind of like, can you just move over? Can you just move over? Can you just move over? Then he gets mad and yells at them. And he's like, get off the bed! And I'm like, you kind of jumped.
0 from 100.
0 to 100. If you just asked them, and meant it the first time, they would move. But that's my only rule, is that dogs, they do have to move when you ask them to get off the bed. And also...
But they can be on the bed.
Also, listen to my multi-dog series, and I do talk about beds. There is issues with beds, and I will say that, but we won't get into that. You can listen to that episode if you haven't already heard it. All right. Paisley must have put that in there just to shame me.
No. I would never. Okay. All right. Carrie recently got a new foster from an animal hoarder. Very challenging. He was never socialized and is scared of everyone and unfamiliar normal life. My new foster's overwhelming fear and distrust of everyone and routine home life.
Yeah. So I think the big thing with fosters, and kudos to you. Fostering is not for the faint of heart. And the biggest thing with adoptions and fosters is that we have to respect their story. So it's good to know their story, but we can't hang on to the story. That's the number one piece of advice I can give. And the second thing is would be that when with dogs like that, we just need to create a pattern of predictability, and that's it. I had a similar situation when I rescued research beagles. They'd never seen the outside before, and imagine imagine a beagle for the first time with that nose being able to smell everything. And I remember taking them out, and they would literally be overwhelmed with the smell, and they would shut down. So what did that mean for us moving forward? It meant that we didn't go for walks. Like, guess what? We didn't go for walks. I just sat in the backyard with them. And the first couple of times, for the ones that were really sensitive and were like, I can't handle this, we just sat on the patio, and the dog didn't move. It just pancaked on the ground. We have the story of Soda where we tried to walk him out the front door, and he pancaked on the ground and screamed like bloody murder. And then all the neighbors came out and thought we were torturing a dog. But we just start with patterns and cycles. So this know in your head what you want to achieve, but know that you can break that down into micro steps, and you create a pattern. Every time at this time, we're going to go outside. And if that dog starts to go, okay, I can kind of move a little bit, then we're going to move with them. We're not going to force anything, have no agenda. The greatest gift that you can ever give any rescue dog, especially a fearful one, is the gift of time and no timelines. Take as long as you take. If it's just us sitting in the yard, that's all we're going to do. And I've even gone as far as to say, and some people hate this, but I've gone as far because for my research beagles, they also had never gone to the bathroom outside. And that meant I had to break my own rule, which is I use pee pads in my house. I broke that rule because I hate pee pads. I'm like, why would you train a dog to pee in your house only to train them to pee out of your house after that? But the difference here was that research beagles were already peeing inside. They had no concept of the fact that there was a space that they had to go to urinate. They would just pee where they were. So we had to start that training, and I had to break my own rules. So you have to be flexible, timeless, and no timelines. And that's really hard for fosters because they're like, you need to be adopted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I get that. All right. I think we have time for one more. We're probably really late, but we'll do one more.
That's all right.
45 minutes, sure.
That's okay. All right, last one. Shannon. I absolutely love my Gracie, but my heart breaks for her. She is literally afraid of everything. I feel like her anxiety is getting worse. Our vet put her on Reconcile a few years ago. I don't think it helps, but the vet said I would see a difference if I took her off of it. So for now, she's still on it.
Okay. So, Shannon, I have nothing against using meds to help dogs. Sometimes we need the meds to help lower the rate of anxiety or whatnot, so that we can be effective. It's almost like I look at it like sometimes some of these dogs are so bad that they have like a static that's running in their brain, and it's so loud that they can't hear anything else. And adding the meds can just turn down the volume a little bit on that. So there's nothing wrong with meds. But what I would say is, and I know you're just sort of letting us know this, but the first thing that sort of sticks out for me is when you say my heart breaks for her. I think the very first step that you need to take right now would be that stop having your heart break for her. I want you to literally look at this dog and go, you are the luckiest dog in the entire world because you're in my life, because I am going to be the person to help guide you through this, because you no longer need to be afraid of anything. That doesn't mean you won't be, but you no longer need to be afraid of everything. And I am going to be the one to show you these things and to walk you through this journey. And we're going to partner up together. And if you're afraid, I'm going to step up. And I really want you to work on your mindset here, because what quite often happens, and this is what I was saying before about rescues and adopting dogs and their stories that they have, that when we cling to their stories and I don't know if she has a story or even if she's a rescue at that point, but when we cling to these stories and we approach dogs with this, I feel so bad for you. Remember that they can smell your feelings. So if you're feeling bad for them, you're coming at them at a place of sadness, and your heart's breaking, and you just want all the things that's best for them. I want you to pony up, my friend, and be like, pony up, I think means pay up, doesn't it? Where did that pony up?
I don't know. That's above my time. Before my time.
Yeah, we're not good with words today. I want you to...
We're not good with Greek mythology, sayings.
I want you to buckle up and pony up. And I think pony up means pay. Anyway, I want you to really buck up, Shannon.
Saddle up?
No, now we're Western. I don't know what happened.
Get on the pony, Shannon.
Get on the confidence pony train. No.
Why is there a train? So what happens when we run like towards 50 minutes on the mic.
We're done. This is just your way of knowing that we're done. Anyway.
Well, on the note of trains, you could say we're derailed.
Oh God. Wait, I'm just gonna boo that.
No.
You were right.
Yeah.
Anyway, my whole point is that I want you to take this moment because she is the absolute most luckiest dog in the world. She's the most luckiest dog in the world because she has you. And I say that not knowing you, but I do know you because you are probably listening to the podcast. You're probably like reading stuff. You're doing all the things you can. So you need to flip this script for you and be like, thank goodness I am in Gracie's life. Thank goodness I'm going to partner up with her and I'm going to help her through this. Thank goodness she has me. Gracie is the luckiest dog in the world, and I know that to be true because you are who you are. So there you go. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. Those were questions you didn't even know you this.
All right.
I think that's it for today. Thank you, Paisley. I wanted to get Paisley on before she hops on a plane and leaves again for 3 weeks.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Of course you will be. We have all your stuff.
And my cats.
And your cats. All right. Thank you, everybody who sent in your answers to questions you didn't know you asked. And if you have questions that you would like answered, but you don't want anyone to know about it, please feel free to join the Living Beyond Obedience Facebook group and answer those questions. Who knows? Your question might be featured here on the podcast. Listen, if you like this kind of thing, be sure to take 30 seconds and give us a 5-star written review on Apple. It really helps push the podcast out to more and more people like you. And as always, get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are. Because your dog thinks that you're amazing, and so do I. Have a fantastic day from Tracy
and Paisley. I didn't okay.
She never gets that. She never, ever gets that. She's just like...
I mean, you could, like... I'm sitting right beside you. You could, like, throw me a stare or a prompt. You're staring at a screen. You just stop talking.
I was waiting to click the off button because I was waiting for her to just...
Farewell, friends.
Bye for now. And one more thing, this podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now. Okay, so just start to talk and just say things.
La-li-la-la.
That's singing. Just say. Just talk normally so we can get the volume.
Conversation is good for social interaction.
Wow. Okay.